In the 1940s, there was a study done by a radio station which tested for people's motivations to why they listen to a certain radio and not another radio station. This is known as the gratification theory now. It's very popular. Way before social media was a thing, way before technology was a thing. They've always been trying to seek out why certain people behave the way that they do for their motivations. Emotional, educational, and desires and wants and needs was the main reasons why people listened to one radio station and not another. This directly is influenced by Maslow's hierarchy of needs: basic needs and safety, then belonging and love, and then you have esteem and self-actualization. This theory here, joined with the gratification theory, shows you a lot of where people operate, track down our own needs, and when it comes to a self-healing journey, this is very critical because we're all online now. Staying sane online really relies on you knowing yourself to a very exceptional extent. When you look at gratification theory and you compromise it with Maslow's hierarchy, a lot of people spend a lot of time on the belonging and love section, as well as the esteem section, which is the psychological need. So with the belonging, that's the emotional aspect. The desire to belong, the desire to feel loved and have a community around you. With the esteem, that's all the desires and wants, as well, educational attainment and stuff that will help you build confidence for yourself. Later down the line, there was also more studies done which comprised a list of 35 things into 5 sections, which further identified why people gravitate towards certain things and not others. And those aspects were affective, personal integrative, tension release, personal integrative, and cognitive reasons. So what this means now is, maybe after you watch this video, once you've got your personal integrative and your cognitive, because I try and do both sides here, you might want to go release some tension by watching a comedy show, or you might want to go work out, or anything that helps you release tension. Your job here really is to make sure that who you are as a person, all your needs for belonging and all of that are met. Not only online, but with a digital hygiene, you also prioritize it outside of the digital space. One thing that I found very helpful is the digital health box, and this just lets you know how you use social media, how you use technology, how you use the online space, because the online space is not necessarily just social media. Running app, possibly also aid a social community. This digital health box, your task is to identify how you use social media. So to give you an example of my digital health box, I use social media or online space that's digital, usually for educational purposes. I learn a lot of things online that relate to the gym, diet, basically get all my information health-wise online. You can see how a lot of the time this is very positive, but you can also see the other side of this digital health box. For example, having a lot of cognitive reliance on the digital space could mean that I rely a lot on getting all of my education online and missing out on the physical opportunities around me that enable me to practice that education. Instead of just learning from my practical environment, I'm relying more on my digital space to learn everything, which kind of leaves you in this restless energy. So it could create a bit of anxiety and reliance on the digital space when you can learn from the physical items around you. Secondly, I have a big struggle with health-related knowledge. What is true, what is not, and I spend a lot of time researching things and so on, so forth. Not really trusting doctors. I have my own reasons for that, but social media and just the whole digital space can influence this a lot, especially if the research that you're getting is not 100% true, if you know what I mean. Like with the whole COVID thing, like was it really that bad, or was it just a bias from a social community? I want you to create your own digital health box so you are aware of what you use the social media or online sphere for, and the positives as well as the negatives. That way you can identify when you're going through something that might not be necessarily of hygiene for yourself. From a spiritual perspective, I do want to hone in very much on the esteem aspect of where we use the digital space and how that can influence our health and our hygiene when it comes to the digital space. A lot of media targets our desires and wants online. As an example, this video, I use the emotional aspect of belonging and self-love to put out this video in hopes that people who are needing that sort of love and care can gravitate towards this video, as well as educational, which is a bit of esteem. However, a lot of the time, a lot of the things that are marketed and put out there are desires that can sometimes seem unachievable to the present self that you are in, and it could cause a lot of pressure, a lot of cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is when you know something but you're acting in a different way. So that causes a lot of internal battles. Our media is based on the esteem aspect, which is really good. From a very positive light, it is good to push the population towards a very aspirational aspect, and hoping that the person is mentally strong and resilient and hardworking or whatever, enough and rests enough for them to actually see progress. But what are we doing for the population that are children and showing them these things? Yes, we are showing them all the things that are great. I say we do show them how, but they haven't got the resources. That's going to cause a lot of mental health issues, a lot of digital hygiene neglect, and a lot of self-neglect, which will lead to addiction of, consuming a lot of information in hopes that you get the desire. And it causes us to be ungrateful for what we have. It is all a balance. We have to stay aware and conscious of all the things that we are acting upon and consuming online. It is so easy to get carried away, especially when it comes to something that you feel like is a need. When it feels so important to gain knowledge. Our mind really gravitates towards knowledge because knowledge means survival. Knowledge means adaptation to anything that's dangerous around us and a better improvement of our lives. I'm not saying our media is terrible. It's actually amazing. I wouldn't be here, and I would be here, but I wouldn't be online helping people and achieving my purpose in life of helping others love themselves. I wouldn't have learned what self-love was or anything like that if I wasn't on the media myself or using social technologies the way that we do use them. The only issue is when we leave out the physical environment out of our needs. So we're not going to 100% get belonging and love online. We're not going to get 100% of our esteem online. It's only educational. And like I said, it's so easy to keep going back for more knowledge and more knowledge and more knowledge, or more emotional reassurance, more inspirational desires and more things to look forward to, more exciting things to aspire to. None of that is a problem. The only problem is when we miss out on the action aspect or the rest aspect. We go, we stop, we reflect, and we go again. So we need that stop and reflection aspect inputted into this whole thing. Make your digital health box. That will really help you identify your own loops and patterns around your digital health. That way you can keep yourself sane and healthy online. All the things that I learn, I forget them. Hence why I really love recording these videos.